All right, there we go. And welcome back to another episode here on the Lazy Genius Tarot and Bazaar. My name is Alex, and if you're new here, thank you for making this the first stop on the journey. And I do hope that you stick around. Today, what we're going to be doing is going through the Arcane Bullshit deck. Did come in a box. The box is also super cool. It's just up in storage at the moment. I don't feel like grabbing it, but I do keep it in the box or the bag rather, that I bought for it. It is one of those velvety bags. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like velvet, the bag I would probably stay away from, but it is lined with like this sort of a poly satin kind of fabric there. So it does make for an easy slide in and out of the deck, because this deck is super thick. As you can see, it is a 106 card Oracle deck, and it almost feels like it's satirical. Like the person who wrote the deck in the book, it almost feels like they were making fun of people that read cards. Only the thing is it actually reads really well. So it couldn't have been written specifically in jest, because it actually does read really well. So it is a super quirky, super funny deck. And there's cussing pretty much all the way through the deck itself. The back of the book here says bullshit is eternal. Bullshit rather is an eternal, informative or transformative power that pervades every element of daily life. Bullshit is the lifeblood that drives our planetary machine across the infinite psychoscape. It powers human consciousness towards the throbbing golden kernel of cosmic truth. Imagine a bee with very long, sexy legs playing a haunted mandolin. Imagine a bear with mushrooms for eyes piloting an ebony skull. Imagine a television king wearing a silk dress and eating an infinite spiral of beef. Now imagine all three of those fucking weirdos driving go-karts on the back of an enormous plaid tongue/worm. This is the power of bullshit. With this deck of pictorial channeling cards, one can awaken and harness the ancient secret magique of bullshit for both frivolous entertainment and everlasting soul-exploding entertainment. Enlightenment, rather. Everlasting soul-exploding enlightenment. Featuring all of the main symbols, images, metaphors, archetypes, patterns, pictures, signs, emblems, figures, motifs, and icons known to man. Arcane Bullshit is a gateway to forgotten kingdoms of esoteric gospel and unimaginable power. The book's well written. Again, 106 different cards. The intro to the book is hilarious. There's a bunch of cussing all throughout the whole thing. And there are some spreads. Like, for instance, I'm sure you can read that. It's stupid. The whole thing is just ridiculous. But like I said earlier, it does actually read really well. So there is that. But it does come with the book. The book does come with a couple of spreads and meanings for all 106 cards, including a warning at the back. The warning is actually pretty funny. I will read that to you when we get done with the walkthrough. None of these are in order, and with 106 cards, I don't think the order necessarily matters here. So let me get us into frame, and then we will start the walkthrough. Here is the card back, and I pulled it up real close like this so you guys could see everything that's going on in there. It is fully reversible, but it is a pretty busy card back at the same time. The backgrounds on the images is all like random line work. Here we have just a horizontal set. Here we have multiple diagonal sets in the shape of a diamond, so on and so forth. So it's an interesting deck to look at. And we start off our journey today with the Feral Nerd. Hilarious. Here we have a werewolf and a pig making out. Here we have a cat licking its own butt for eternity. Again, trigger warning, this deck has a lot of sideways language and some imagery that's interesting to say the least, just in case. Next, we have Galaxy Dad. Here you see a pizza, what looks like a window full of eyes, and then a clock, phone attached in his hand, some arrows in his side. The inverted squirrel eating a worm. If we turn that over, we do see he's eating a worm. Here we have a sex witch with an octopus. That octopus only has one eye. Here we have urinal death. Here we have the bird book snake thing. The golden retriever. We see a couple of coins and a key. The toilet angel. An eagle chained to a calf. An infinite cosmic mess. I'm not even really all that sure what's going on here, but I'm sure you could probably unpack all sorts of stuff from that. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find the definition fast. Infinite cosmic mess. Let's see. Huh. Well, I'm missing it in the book right now. Space death. So this is the second death card we've seen. The first one was urinal death. Here we have space death. It looks like the skeleton of a monkey in a astronaut suit, seemingly floating dead in space. Here we have rhubarb Tony. The gravy funnel. Here we see a hand coming out of the clouds pouring gravy into the funnel that is being held by another hand from the clouds, being poured into the mouth of a chicken. Well, it's the head of a chicken and the upper body of a man. Here we just have something, a computer with a pyramid on it, surrounded by what could only be surmised as possibly smoke and flames above a turtle. Just labeled something, so who knows what that could be. Here we have shrimp and guns. Here we have a pit bull driving a tiny truck. King shit. The surfing chimp. The greased priest. He's super greasy too. Papa Macho. He's got a crystal for a peen. He's carrying a sword on his back, a bull in his hand. I don't know, what's this, a big barbell standing on a couple of cars. Looks like someone shot him with a suction cup arrow. Lil Pablo. Lil Pablo. I could only surmise that that's like an ode to little Pablo Escobar. I actually found Meaning for that one. Lil Pablo. He's got a horn for tootin', plus a lobster, and he's riding backwards on a frog. What a little rascal. He's probably up to all kinds of mischief. Wait, just how little is this guy? Or is that a super big frog? Take some time to ponder the idea of scale. Little Pablo. Error 404 in a seeing or a looking ball. Future not found. Look at the face on the cat, too. The poopa vomiting on cats. I'm not sure what a poopa is, but it sure is stuff throwing up on them cats. Here we have a card labeled The Orgy. Wet pants. All wet in the center. The Nip Slip Pope. The Double Caveman. The False Face. Looks like dressed like a monk or like a super devout priest of some sort, but got the face on a stick there. Bird on the shoulder. I have no fucking clue. King Fancy. Meaningless garbage. Got a raccoon digging through a trash bag. Here's the Heron Bearer. Heron's eating a fish. Here we have the Baseball Goat. Here we have Vengeance. A heart on a skateboard with a knife and some nunchucks. Okay, that's Vengeance. Shark, trombone, and 3 sandwiches. The Gross Cup. Random clip art. The Pyramid-Headed Bird. The Decision Maker. The Fruitus. Obviously the Fruitus is pretty big since it's looking like it's about to eat the earth. The Anthropomorphic Carrot. He's got a little mini scythe in his hand. The Former Child Star. He's got a match. Upside down thing of gasoline. No face. Here we have the Card of Cards. Literally, it's just a card of cards all the way back. Here we have a card called The. Oh. Here we have a robot riding a gorilla. And here we have the Pie Knight. The Pie Knight is an adventurous risk taker who follows his passions. He's also kind of an idiot, but he does have pies. Everything's fine. Master of the Hunt. He's got it aimed at one of those squiggly things. You know, the air things. The Pantless Beekeeper. Got his penis out. The Flying Man. Everything seems to be going really well with no sign of ever changing. Maybe a fresh start in some area would be a good idea. Have a think about it. The Birthday Corpse. Probably nothing, even though it looks like a melted face. Future Grandma. This card is definitely about sex. It's a monkey holding an egg, looking at a noose with a snake on its head. This card is definitely about sex, so it is labeled. Here we have the Flop Key. I forgot about this deck and how ridiculous it really is, but I promise it actually really does read well. The flap key. Always keep trying to force things when they don't appear to fit right away. So that's the actual meaning of that card. Always keep trying to force things when they don't appear to fit right away. This deck is retarded. But I love it though. It's such a hilarious deck. I don't really have very many standalone Oracle decks in my collection. This is one of them. I'm very picky about my Oracles, but this one's hilarious. This is definitely one of those Simon made me do it moments. Here we have a coffin full of tacos that are full of snakes. Here we have the filthy mattress. It may be time to discard something very intimate. Stop attributing depth to that which appears mundane. Hang in there. A raptor riding a dolphin in space. Here we have the saxophone fetus. The Queen of Holes. Half-price hot wings. A woman breastfeeding a VCR. A bunch of cats posing as a woman. Giving birth to a skull. Pregnant babies. Not sure about that card. Make up your goddamn mind. This fucking guy. The beefcake. A giant sperm fighting a dove. Productive impulses may lead to discord and violence. Something that seems like a deep yet solvable frustration is actually just part of life. Stop trying to solve things, embrace compromise, and accept your misery. That is that one. Look at this fucking hourglass. Big sexy Satan. Death. So here's the third death card in the deck. First we had urinal death, then we had space death, and now we have death, where death himself appears to be dying. Here we have Aunt Brenda, who seems to be a giant chicken with huge boobies, one of which has a snake riding from it. She's swinging a man somewhere, and I don't know if it's a man or a woman or not. And then has a big bell there. Aunt Brenda seems to be some sort of a chicken beast. Here we have horse death, yet another death card. This card is called You're Fucked. Here we have Chaos Mom. Here we have the rat trout, who is a rat and trout holding a rose. Here's an old man pouring water on an eyeball. Here is the dildo wizard. Here's the penis weasel. Here we have Annihilation. It's a pretty funny card considering it's just a beagle. And let's see here. Here we have the Thief card. Something that will be stolen. Or something will be stolen, rather. Wasps are very sensual. Beware of corpses, hoses, wasps, and wasps. Avoid lawsuits, booby traps, and murders. Oh, here we go. A skeleton eating a banana. That is, this card says, this is probably about death, and also penises. This fucking deck is amazingly funny, yo. Here we have May's Face. It says, we all wear disguises, or do disguises wear us? Trying to see reality can lead us in circles. We don't all look good in hats. Something that seemed like an acceptable starting point will reveal itself to be absurd. Crazy, mystical shit. This card says, some mysteries are best not understood. Trust your intuition, look for signs everywhere, and let your confusion guide you. The less sense your solutions to everyday problems make, the better. When in doubt, just put some apple cider vinegar on it. Knees. Ooh. This is a super horny porno owl. I'm stuck to the card underneath of it. Here we have a card called Wolves. The Digging Ghost. The Provider. Here we have the All-Seeing Slice. Also not too sure about this card. Here we have Instinct. The Weird Tree. Here we have Nobody. A cactus on a motorcycle with udders. The Sword Hoarder. Here we have the Guru. Here says, all questions will be answered. All your answers will be questioned. The Guru consumes feedback, but offers hollow echoes. Should you trust this weirdo? The signs are conflicting. You're so fucking fucked. The Shitty Acoustic Guitar Guy. The Parasitic Fruit. Madam Rufflebonnet. Here we have the Robododo. And finally, we end on a uterus with feet. Let's go ahead and zoom back out here. Now this deck is super thick, based on the fact that it is 106 cards, but the card stock is actually also rather thick as well. So you're not getting a flimsy card stock, but if you break it down into half sizes, then it is still relatively easy to riffle shuffle. So you kind of have to riffle shuffle it in halves, and then when trying to riffle shuffle all of them together though, yeah, see, that doesn't really work. So then at that point, you kind of just have to do the overhand method, but I have to do it like this, right? I can't do it like this because it's too many cards. So I have to do it like this, which makes shuffling this deck kind of difficult. There is a matte finish on the cards, and it kind of makes the cards sticky a little bit. But it still shuffles really well considering the size of the deck, and not necessarily the size of the cards, but the size of the deck itself, and the card stock there. Just for comparison though, in regards to card size, if we look at a normal RWS, here we have, or not normal RWS, but I mean normal tarot size card. Here we have the pulp, and this card is just slightly more narrow on all sides, like a hair off from a standard tarot card size. But it's a very interesting deck. Like I said, you can riffle shuffle it, but if you have to like cut the deck in half and then riffle shuffle each of the halves, and then sort of just like do the overhand thing from there. All right, there you have it, the Arcane Bullshit Oracle. And once again, I would like to thank you guys for coming to kick it with me for a while we flip through this deck here. If you are new and you did enjoy the walkthrough for this deck, please do consider subscribing and hit the notification bell. That way you can get notified whenever I release a new video or go live. And like I said, guys, I thank you for coming to kick it with me, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.